What's up, guys? Good morning. It's a nice Thursday morning, and I am having a wonderful day so far. I've got my headphones in, so I'm just going to take you guys on a walk around my block. I love these flowers outside our home. It is just beautiful. I love living here. I want to keep staying here. Hey, so I hope you guys are having a good day. Hope I caught you at a good time and that you're enjoying yourself wherever you are. I'm talking specifically to you, my single viewer. I have something on my heart for you today, and that is that it breaks my heart because I hear all the time. I hear so many, like my whole life actually. I've always been in artistic communities, right? And I think that a lot of my life has been being in really artistic communities and then trying to find the next one. Like it's kind of like a constant search, but and like, you know, building it and feeling like I'm creating new opportunities and also being in business also. And it breaks my heart though. It really breaks my heart is how many people and how many creative people lack faith. Just faith. I mean, shoot. I mean, forget religion or forget, but just faith in general. It's amazing to me how many people have lack faith in themselves, and how much I've even been, affected by that myself. I mean, gosh, for sure I have been. But what makes me so sad is how much time, for creative people, right? If you're a creative person, right? That means you're like chomping at the bit to like make something because you have all these ideas and you want to try, and you don't want to be stupid. You don't want to be afraid of being, insane. It's constant. Like you're constantly looking for inspiration. You feel inspired always. And the thing is that you don't even realize that the majority of the world doesn't think like you. And it's not your creation that makes you special. It's your ability to create in the most unseeming environments. That's what makes you special. It has nothing to do. Every single creative person, even myself, especially me, okay? It's always the question is, well, I don't have enough money for this, or I need to get funding for this, or that's not true, okay? I've met with millionaires since I've been in LA, okay? Like I've met with some folks that are like literally giving millions of dollars to stuff, and I see like that they're like the struggle. They're looking for creative people. Like that everyone wants someone with a great idea and someone with an audience and someone who's making something, who's creating space. And that's the way I look at it. Creativity is all about creating space. It's about it's about creating opportunities and then finding and giving those opportunities, right? So anyways, I guess I really just want to kind of, break the wall here, and sort of pop a bubble, because the way we've been trained to think about content, the way we've been trained to think about entertainment and creativity is really, really in for a radical change. And it's already been happening, but it's in for a huge, oh shit, sorry. What's up, man? You want to be in my vlog? I'm Chase. Oh. Oh. Yeah. No less. You speak English?
Spanish.
Oh, mostly Spanish. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Take care, man. Probably freaked him out. He scared the crap out of me. So anyways, yeah. I'm sorry about my vlog being shaky and stuff, but it's all good. I'm just gonna let it go. So the thing is that creativity is about taking things that are unseeming and trying to find connections in ways that other people might not see, and to try and make something new that hasn't been done before using what you have, right? Like it has, if you can't be creative without if you're basically, resources don't make you creative. You can't buy your way into creativity. It's something that's a gift, and it's a gift that you're meant to share. But the downside of being creative is that you're in for kind of a lonely road. And what I mean by that is that, like, if you really want to create something new, if you want to start something up, if you want to be a creative person, you're going to have to really have faith. So I guess I'm going back to this. It breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart how few people really believe in themselves and believe in themselves to take a risk on their creative expression and creative abilities, and to fail into that and thinking that the world is against them. Like, man, I swear, I've every time I get one hint of a group, like even a tiny iota of a group that is like us against the world, I'm running so far away from those people. Because me against the world mentality does not make any sense. Like, the world is so for you that you don't even realize how for you they are, right? For example, if I spent $5,000 on making each YouTube video, and I made them like really awesome, like I made them so cool, but I only have 100 followers on my so I just say Instagram, YouTube, on my YouTube, I only have 100 followers on my YouTube, right? So I don't need to spend a lot of time. Not that it's not worth it, but what I'm saying is I need to spend time and effort and resources in accordance to what I have right now. I don't need to go and make these huge, big, epic things. That's coming later, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, and then there'll be benchmarks for when I get to 10,000 subscribers, and then when I get to 100,000, and then when I get to 1 million, right? And I want to do that this year. So I need your help for that. I think I might do like that whole Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon type thing, where I just maybe try to create stuff more regularly. But I don't know. I'll have to feel it out. But and not try to. I don't want to. I want to do things that you guys like, and that I can kind of figure out a way to sort of create content that's succinct enough and that's interesting enough. So please put some comments below as to like what kinds of videos that you would actually like me to create, or like that you enjoy, because I have 100 people following and probably know most everyone, like just personally. I'm really more of an in-person guy. But anyways, so every single one of you guys, though, if you want to be in videos and you have something to say, something to share, I want to build a community. I'm not necessarily looking to build something that's all about me. I want to kind of be about building people up and helping other people. But anyways, so yeah, so it just breaks my heart, because faith is so important to me, and I truly believe that you know my beliefs. My beliefs are that Jesus is the Son of God, and that He indwells in me because I just believe in Him, and I've asked Him for forgiveness because I'm a sinner, and now He moves me into righteousness whether I like it or not. And what's really cool is that I've really well documented my life, just because I've always enjoyed like documentation in some ways. Like I've really well documented my life, my thoughts, my ideas, and when I even look back at my belief patterns and my thought patterns, man, there are times I've thought I was just the biggest like piece of shit in the universe, but I realized a lot of the things that had been happening to me, was really God moving me even closer to Him without me even realizing it. So I'm just now starting to feel like I'm getting really the hang of this whole faith thing. When I first started my business about 7 or 8 years ago, I think like for me that was like so. I had that me against the world mentality a little bit. I projected my insecurities on other people, not realizing that if I really did share with them my vision, I felt like they would belittle it or try to make me feel like I'm nothing or anything like that. But I wished I would have taken a little bit of time just to jot down. I think I've developed more of an ability to to hear people on their criticism and just create a file for it, right? And a weight and a measure to it. So if someone's done it before and they've failed, I put it in one category. If they've done it before and they succeeded, I put it in another category. But both of those things, I put a certain weight on it because they're not me. I'm a little bit different than them. I might have different position than them. And what might have worked for them or what didn't work for them, I can hear it and know it, but I've learned how to disassociate feeling like because somebody else did it, it's going to be the same thing for me, and kind of realizing that all I can do in my path is take best the opportunities that I have and leverage them as best as possible to just to get like to the next step. Not like you're trying to like walking over anyone, doing anything, bad or like against people, but literally just like, okay, is this good for me moving forward? Like, am I going to take a step forward here? Am I taking a step backwards? And if I do take a step backwards, am I taking a step backwards so that I can go forward stronger? Like sometimes you have to take a hit. Like we've done that. We did that in Dallas. We lived well below our means before we were able to move to LA. Like there's some step back so you can move forward, that type of thing. And then there's times like to be secretive, and I've got secrets. I've got plenty of secrets, things that I'm working on that I don't share. And so like, being secretive and then being overly sharing and just, telling everything. So anyways, I think that compartmentalizing things and taking information in a way that is selective but also not dismissive, right? Where you take in information and you hear it, but at the same time, there's a time to listen to people's feedback and input, and then there's really a time to do. And the doing time needs to be probably 80% more than listening. I think that's really the best way. And doing, I think doing does kind of involve like reading and like, research. It would be part of the doing process, right? You research, you assess, you come up with some ideas, you weed out those ideas, and then you act on the ones that you believe are going to work the best with the resources that you have, and then you claim a new position, or you step into that next little phase. But that process is so ingrained into the universe. You're not really going to break it unless by miracle. So that's really important. That process. The process is so important. It's like, go back and listen to that. The one I did before with about the game. I did a little stream of consciousness one like this. About, are you in the game? The game makes the man. I mean, that is so true. I mean, like, you have to have a process, you have to have a system, you have to have some sort of playing field for you. And I think that's another element of what breaks my heart about creatives too, is that not only do they not have faith, but they don't want to play by anybody's rules. They don't want to play by a system. They don't show up on time. They're irresponsible, undisciplined. And these are things you probably think about yourself, but you know what? If it's true, change it. And stop living like you're here, and just like come down to earth for a second. Admit that you don't have it all figured out. Maybe your big dream can happen in like 5 years, but man, like, take it down to just live, be okay living here when you're working. Like, people are gonna give you, if people are gonna give you here, they're gonna give you what they think you deserve, right? And instead of trying to fight that, like, instead of being like, oh no, that's not what I am, I'm worth this and this and this, which I have to do sometimes because I have proven myself in certain areas, and some people just don't know, like flat out don't know. They're like, oh, Chasey's a nice guy, he doesn't really know. Believe me, I'm farther along than you think. But like, But at the same time, I'm not above anything. I'm not bigger than it. Like I've taken projects like I've taken projects here that like even like after I've been at this level, I don't look at levels. I just look at, okay, how can I advance in someone's perception of me, and how can I create value in what they're doing, and am I the best person to do it? Am I going to be the one to do that? And if not, do I have somebody else on our team or somebody else within our organization that can actually do that work, that I can call and build into, that pipes into some of the things that they're meant to do in their life, right? So anyways, I love the creative mind. I love the creative process, and I love how much value it can add to the world, and it just pains me because really, like, if you're a creative person, man, there's so many people who are just dying for there are literally people who are killing themselves right now because you are not taking a step. Like, literally, they're killing themselves. They're eating potato chips, waiting around to do something with their life. Like, something. They're just, oh, I wish that I could just do one thing. And some people's ambitions, you think, as a creative, you think, oh, everyone's ambitions is so huge. No, dude, you've been so filled. Creativity is an art, has always been successful through affluence, right? Like, it always started in wealthy areas because wealth allows artists to become something, right? Like, that's the only way to do it. Like, that's why my whole life, like I didn't just go straight to trying to be cool and famous. I wanted to just go straight into building value for people, and I ate shit for a really long time. I did so much work for free. If anyone comes at me and says like, oh, like my rate is this and that, are you serious? Do you think, I get it, but if you have not proven yourself, there's a time of proving. Like, you're gonna need to prove that you can do some of the work. You don't just like all of a sudden like get out of college and like decide to yourself, oh, this is my rate. Like, you can try it, but like, if you want to build something and you want to be freelance, if you want to get results quickly and not end back up on your mom's couch, you better just start taking projects left and right. You're in for a hard knocks life right there. You should just be taking projects, taking stuff. If it doesn't interest you, then that just teaches you to prospect harder, to think of other things that you can do that are even cooler, until you can get things to go. But yeah, it's you just, like, there's just a season where you're always gonna have to rely back on that, and that really it's a life principle, because that wherever you are, if you think that you're going to reach a place where that skill set doesn't exist, it's the same thing. Like, for example, even in the bigger organizations, and not bigger organizations. Like, I'm gonna use that. Like, let me just like think of people who are playing at. So there's different levels, right? So the game is sort of the same, like, at every level, right? But people who are playing the game at this level, like, even with money, like, let's say they're at $1 million level, they're at the, people who are playing at that level, they still have to do a lot of things that are quote unquote free or below their pay grade, right? Like, they still have to do that stuff, but that's so that they can actually win. When you're starting out, your winnings are going to be a little bit less because you haven't proven yourself. You haven't proved yourself worthy of that trust. Like, we're going back into the video I just did before about trust, and how our money has printed on it, "In God we trust," right? So the trust of being the trust that you're trying to get from people, as that increases and as that grows, it'll give you more ability to create and build out more and more and more. And what I'm trying to get to is that, the win-lose battle of life, if you can't master that mindset of the fact that sometimes things are going to be great and sometimes things are going to suck, that doesn't necessarily go away. Like once you get to once you're at $100,000, like you can have great months, and then you could have months where you're below, like when you're like just sunk. And I've seen that in every single circle I've been in, like with business owners and business leaders that I've known and like been around. Like they're all that's really how it works. Like it goes ups and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So anyways, so I'm a huge proponent of sweat equity. I believe that if you are putting in work, if you're basically sweat equity, for those who don't know what sweat equity is basically it's tender in value that is ascribed to being able to basically purchase in the same value, and understood it as monetary investment, but to have it as being sweat equity. So basically it's just your sweat. Basically saying like, hey, my ability to work for an extended period of time and provide value just by my own effort is worth XYZ, and I want to invest that into this company or into this endeavor, with the hopes that I would either A, get ownership, or B, get a payout or a bonus at the end, right? So some like commission structure somewhat works on sweat equity in a way, with a bigger payout if it works, right? So you're sort of risking, like as a salesperson, you're like sort of risking your time. You're risking your time and your attention and your expertise and your effort over a time at a risk that hopefully, if that deal closes, that you're able to make a piece of that pie that's probably larger than what you would have been able to make if you were just getting paid hourly, right? That's how commission works. This is why commission sales is really the best way to make money, aside from owning real estate or winning in oil or building a business. But those are all really challenging things to do. But as a creative person, and as somebody who is has that ability, you have the ability to create space. Don't be looking for people to tell you how to do something or what to do or where to do it. Don't be looking for that. Be open to correction and insight from other people, but don't go looking for a job. If you're really a creative person, if you're truly an artist, you need to create. That's your asset. Gosh, I met this one crazy girl, and she's absolutely crazy, but she's brilliant. She's brilliant, and she was saying how her artwork is her investment, and I was like, that is probably the greatest thing I've ever heard. I had never heard it like that before, but that's so good. Like, you are creating assets by creating art. And that's how every artist should be thinking about it. You're creating assets by creating art. And it gets depressing because you your buyout and your payout just may never really come to fruition. It's gonna have to be intrinsic, and you're gonna need to find other things to do that are gonna be able to pay the bills, or to be able to pay for what you're doing. And if you're lucky to find a way for those things to help other businesses or other people who can pay a fair rate, you'll be great. That's really a wonderful thing. But as an artist, you're gonna be extremely unfulfilled as an artist if you don't continue to create. And even as an entrepreneur, if there's the entrepreneurial side of you, I think in every single person there's an element of your art that just needs to be protected within your heart. It just needs to be taken seriously, that you have in your heart I like this background here. It's kind of cool. I'm in this people's yard. But in your backyard, in your slow down, Chase. You're talking too much. Isn't this a beautiful day? Look at this. Just like look, all these trees. Like, oh my gosh. That's the Getty, by the way. The Getty Museum. I don't know if you can see it very well. That's the Getty. When we first moved into our place, we actually got like, we didn't have Wi-Fi, and so we would go to the Getty in order to get Wi-Fi. Isn't that funny? We would take a $6 Uber ride to go to the Getty and get Wi-Fi. Oh man, God is good. God is good for so many things. This is just one of those things that we're lucky to have. I was like that Dave Ramsey. He always says, like on his radio show, he always says, "How are you doing, Dave?" He's like, "Well, better than I deserve." Yeah, I feel that way for sure. Yeah, but it's all about faith, guys. It really is. It's all about faith. Everything's very attainable. If you're willing to make sacrifice, everything's super attainable. Sacrifice is really your best friend if you want to. If you want some things, you're gonna have to really sacrifice somewhere. You know, if you really want it bad enough, you'll do what it takes to make it happen. And sometimes it's accepting a little bit of a pain. Like I've had to do that a lot. You just, you sell something that you need to sell, or just like this pain. And it's crazy. Like, I'm really glad I did this money thing before. If you haven't watched that video, it's really, really good. It has really changed. That video really like made a big impact on me too, because I've always been, split between, I kind of have like both skill sets of like, I'm highly business minded, but then I'm also very artistic and very creative. And reconciling the heart behind that is really, really quite the phenomenon. Like, at least for me. I don't know if you're like that at all, but understanding, like, seriously, feeling the heart of an artist does not really know how to deal with money, and the heart of and like the heart of a business person really gets money but doesn't know how to deal with artists. So I really feel like I'm like sort of in this like weird middle ground of like truly understanding. I'm in the balance zone, I think. Jeez, self-proclaimed. That's dangerous. But no, but I feel very balanced in that. I feel very balanced in that lane, and I think that's part of my purpose actually, is to just sort of bridge gaps there, because I think that, there's healthy skepticism on both sides, because artists, y'all are crazy, and business people, y'all are weird, or y'all are dumb. Like, y'all are just too slow sometimes to new ideas, or greed. Just simple stuff like greed, just greed. And I think that business people deal less with pride, but I think artists deal the most with pride. It's like kind of, it's a sneaky pride, but business folks, they deal with greed because they don't want to let go of stuff. But I will say that people who earn their living are usually much better people, who have to really work hard. People who are working the hardest usually have the best character, and that goes whether you're in art or whether you're in business. If you're working really hard at whatever you're doing, even if you suck at it, even if you're stinking it up, if you're really working hard, you're gonna have good character, and that's gonna be good, because at the end of the day, no one's gonna invest in somebody without work ethic. So if you have a great work ethic, you're working hard, you can have all the greatest ideas in the world, you can think you're the shit, but if you're not working hard towards something, then you're totally toast. You will not make anything of your life. You need to be working hard at something, and it better be, and better that it be something that you love, and better that it be something that you're good at. Otherwise, you're gonna really be unfulfilled in that work. But at the same time, I do think that hard work with putting your love into it, and even if it's not what you really want to do ultimately, like, it's gonna still be much better for you in the long run to do it that way. All right. So let's see here. I'm crossing the street. Oh man, it's a beautiful foggy day in this beautiful city of Los Angeles. This has been such a good year. I'm just like so thankful that